Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. We have got a special Sunday show today, a field trip, if you will, in the good old-fashioned English sense of the word. We're off to the market town of Shrewsbury to play at Loopfest, and I thought rather than me just sitting here in my tracksuit talking to you for half an hour, I thought we could all go along to the gig together. This is the first of two shows this weekend. They might be in the same vlog. I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do that. There's one today and one tomorrow. Today is full band, tomorrow is acoustic, and that's just, so it's just me and Bryony. And this is the first time, essentially, as the poll dictated, that I will be using the Boss machine as everything. So depending on the venue today, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but today's venue is incredibly special, but also potentially quite challenging from a sound point of view. You'll see when we get there. So I may bin it today. I'm taking a smaller amp today. I may not use it today. I may go direct today from the Boss thing, but we won't really know until we get there. Tomorrow is definitely no amplifier, and the next show after this one, which I think definitely won't be in this vlog, is also definitely no amplifier. That's been decided already. You know, that's the type of shows that they are, the PAs and everything. I'm more than happy to risk it. So my coat is on. I've got the little camera. Let's go to Shrewsbury. Or is it Shrewsbury? Shrewsbury. I've always said Shrewsbury. I think the residents of Shrewsbury say Shrewsbury. We'll find out when we get there. All right, off we go. Excuse me, Peanut. Excuse me. Oh, God. Quick gear check before we go. A little bit different from the off today. If I'm using an amp, it's going to be the Fender Champion 110, 1995 Fender Champion. Great amplifier. We've got Fender Telecaster 72, which regular viewers of the channel will have seen already. And we've got, still can't bring myself to not take this guy out on live shows. Just feels weird leaving the house without him or her. The Epiphone Wilshire. I dare say I'll start with that today as it's a full band show, and we'll see where we get to. And of course, in the bag, you don't need to see in there, you know what's in there if you're a regular viewer of the channel. In there is the Boss GX10. We've got time for one last coffee before the van arrives. There's always time for a coffee. It's actually a Sunday gig, so I think you'll be glad to see the back of me today, won't you?
Wow, very cool. It's a nice day for it.
I know, it's good, yeah. Although I have put my raincoat.
Yeah, well, Matt's got his Mac on as well. Nice day for a gig.
Beautiful.
Shame about the dogs barking.
Big and then race back, sit in the garden.
Yeah.
How you doing, you?
Yeah, all good. You all right?
Yeah.
Sun is out, we're coming into Shrewsbury. If you've ever been to, well, Shrewsbury, it is a great town, but it's like many English market towns. It's like I know people say English towns are much of a muchness, but I think English market towns are increasingly becoming much of a muchness. You know, you've got your vape shops, your Turkish barbers. We're talking outskirts, then we get into the action, and we'll see what it's about. But I think you're going to enjoy it. It is busy, isn't it?
It is.
Busier than I was expecting. Who knew? Loopfest actually, by the looks of it, pretty big deal. in Shrewsbury. So we're getting into the heart of it now. Market towns, often, they're going to be on a hill. There's going to be a church at the top of the town. You can see, well, maybe you can't see, but we are going up a hill now. And there's going to be some old buildings. There's an old building for you. It's great to see people out though, isn't it? I mean,
Do you reckon I can park there?
I think you can park there.
Because that would be amazing.
Well, we certainly can while we're unloading. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the venue for today.
It is, isn't it? It's got to be.
There's as if the first thing we see, they're loading like barrels out of the church. What have we become as a country?
Maybe it's holy wine.
Yeah, when they're loading beer barrels into a church.
I feel like you should just get the noise of the creaking.
Sounds like an old ship.
Yeah, it sounds like a.
It's fun.
Sure,
Like a pirate
sure,
ship
it'll be
or
fine.
something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Creaking in the ocean.
Traffic warden over there, straight away. She looks lovely though.
Yeah, but she's
She's
definitely
like
just
fucking
looking
She
at
Jack-
looks
Like,
she
what?
looks stern but fair, like the Russian police.
I think
I
she might be
dunno.
for that car park, maybe.
Yeah, she's got an armband
So
on.
we're just going to one of us wait the car.
Yeah.
I'll go and have a look. What's hello, mate.
Hello.
How you doing? Sorry, get that door out your way. Are we? What's the deal here then, mate? What's the?
Here.
Are we okay to park here?
Well, I mean, they charge 7 days a week, so
I'd say
yeah, I think it's maybe cheaper on Sundays, but
Okay,
this
man.
thing just.
we're playing in there, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Luton there, and someone's parked right where you shouldn't park, so I can't even get the thing in.
And
so-
there is is that a traffic warden over there? Or she
he-
just?
No, that's just one of our relief.
It's busy, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Mate.
Yeah.
It's great.
Real good. You've been down the castle. Yeah,
We literally just got
Oh
it.
man,
Yeah.
the castle last night. I can't remember the name of it. Everything was
Oh yeah.
very good. Tom had
Has Milo
Downs-
played yet? Miles Hunt?
I don't think so.
No, is he tonight?
But there's so yeah, you just press the number
Yeah,
there
brilliant.
until it goes up, and then OK to validate. It's expensive to park. Look at that. It's insane. For 2.5 hours, £7.40. You might want to rethink.
Oh, okay. But can we load in here?
Oh, you can. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, in any council parking space, you've got 15 minutes.
Okay.
As soon as they clock your car, you've got 15 minutes. They can't give you a ticket for.
Okay.
Great.
So you're okay to load.
Cheers, Bob.
But yeah, they are out and they are giving tickets. So just be there.
Okay.
It sounds good in there. From the outside.
It does. It sounds like a music venue, doesn't it? Which is, to be honest, surprising. Yeah. St Mary's Church, ladies and gentlemen, is the venue for today. That's not the noise that you usually hear coming out of a church on a Sunday, but that is the noise you hear today.
And then I'll give it back.
Basically all the to the so I think
How about that? We get the authentic festival experience. Use a portaloo. Yep. Not too bad. Festival tip 101. Always flush with your foot. 8 out of 10 cleanliness on the portaloo. Pretty good. I think everybody's favourite member of the Bryony Williams band has arrived. Hector's here.
Chill here all day, can we?
Can't argue with that.
This song goes to Steve Pinfields.
You ever played in a church before, mate?
Have I played in a church?
You ever played in a church before?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, quite a few. Surprisingly. Yeah. Plenty of them.
What's the band name?
Pyramid Park.
Say again.
Pyramid Park.
Pyramid Park. Nice one.
Yeah.
Where you're from?
We're from all over. I live on the south coast in St Leonard's.
Wow.
Pete lives over in Suffolk. He's in Norfolk. He's just moved to Norfolk from Cambridge. Levi's in Bath and he's in Coventry. So we sort of come together.
Yeah. Very
yeah,
cool.
come up, so yeah.
Great.
Should have a nice little boogie. And yourself, are you local?
Yeah, well, Midlands, yeah, Wolverhampton.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cheers.
All right, man. So I had a good look at the, good chance to have a look at the setup, and actually looks really good in there. To be fair, I think we're going to use the amplifier. That's happening. Seems like there's enough oomph from the PA to warrant using an amplifier at this point. Pedal only gig will have to wait until tomorrow. I think today is just going to be strange enough given the venue without abandoning the amplifier, and it is, most importantly of all, a super quick changeover, which means that sound wise really anything could happen. That means that if I on this occasion binned the amplifier and then sound man, just forgot to turn on my monitor, it means that there's literally no way of hearing my guitar. As I say, probably for the best to keep it trad. Just done a little walk around of the church for you. Hopefully you've seen most of it. It's called St Mary's Church. It's if you've never seen an English Church of England church before, probably be quite impressive to you. I think regular viewers of the channel will know that I was a Church of England choir boy as a boy. So for me, my standards as far as churches are probably skewed more than most. It's pretty run of the mill, if we're being honest. It's nothing particularly special. It's all right, it's a church. But the main novelty being today that you're going to see a rock band in a church, which is certainly not run of the mill. And it should be good fun. Having one of those moments where, let me know in the comments if you ever get this, where you look at the set list and you go, good lord, how does that go? It is under an hour till stage time. I think that's probably why I'm feeling like that. Obviously not saying that in front of the band, because they don't need to know about my paranoia. Hopefully everyone will go okay. Very quick changeover, which is always slightly alarming. The band on at the minute, we'll go and have a look at. They're called Pyramid Park. They're using quite a lot, it appears, on track, which I think in a building like this is probably going to really help you, isn't it? Because it's just cutting out a lot of work for the front of house guy. So you can hear how that sounds, and then obviously we don't use any track, old school, and then you can see how that sounds in a church. Should be fun. Let's go and have a look at Pyramid Park, shall we? There you go, they're on stage now.
It's too far, far away. All I know is to be all.
A very good band, you'd have to say. Super tight. Songs are very well written. If I had to, maybe it's just to say it, but more than a little edge, a little hint of the worship band about them. If I didn't know better, I'd say that maybe a couple of those boys are church players. The lead guitarist's got one of those bits of Velcro around the headstock, which either means you're shredding or you're playing in church to me. Maybe it's just a setting. Let me know what you reckon. Given today's venue, it's certainly not a bad thing. To take our mind off the crippling paralysing nerves that we're all no doubt feeling. Let's do a little festival Q&A. I'll start with you, Bryony. What's the one thing that you think is important as a band or an artist playing a festival?
Don't drink on an empty stomach. Maybe only because I've had one and I know if I had a second one before going on, risky.
Hector, same question.
Same question. Lots of extensive rehearsal. Preferably the week of, just to keep it fresh.
Maybe on Zoom.
Zoom rehearsal, yeah.
Preparation.
As long as you had a rehearsal 6 months ago and that was a gig, you're fine.
Any tips for dealing with the festival crowd? I mean, today's a bit different. Obviously, we're in a church. You can see what I like about this shot is that you can see the church behind us. What's different in your experience with festival crowds than, normal venue crowds?
I think a festival crowd is a bit more like accepting, a bit more chill, a bit more just as long as they've got a cup in hand, they're up for it, and I think that's I think
important.
it takes the edge off a little bit.
Okay, nice. Hector, same question.
No crowd surfing in the church. It's one of the.
It's quite an important one.
One of the commandments, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah, it's the eighth commandment, though.
is a festival more or less enjoyable as an artist?
Less enjoyable.
Okay. What? Why?
I think there's too many unknown factors, you know what I mean? And it feels like it's kind of, you're a bit rushed through the process sometimes. It's like get in, get out. You don't have the time to sort of decompress a bit, get it set up properly, get a nice sound check, make sure everything sounds great beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But it is good because you get to see lots of other good bands. So it depends what you make of it, really. Yeah.
Really good point. A very, very good point there, Dan. He's always got the goods. Dan has. He's always
just got another cracking band name.
Go on.
Panda Lasagna. That's brilliant.
Mother Thunder, Micro Baby, and Orbital Smash. All the good ones are here. Yeah. Really.
Knackered Knees.
Oh. 50%.
Yeah, there's some absolute doozies on this one. The Beatles Dub Club. I've no idea.
They're great, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, really good.
For real?
He plays like reggae remixes of Beatles songs. It's brilliant.
Second vocal, please. Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
gig done, folks. Hopefully you caught some of it. The camera overheated, as is the way with this thing, but I think we got about 10 minutes of footage, so hopefully you'll have seen some of that already. Well, it went rather well, to be honest. It's surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, a fantastic crowd. Classic bit of festival action in the sense that, you know, slow start, picks up in the middle, and kind of a bit of a fade off at the end. But man, the people that stuck around seemed to love it. We played really well. It amazes me how little rehearsal this band can get away with, but it seems to be fine. You know, first time in my career that I've ever been in a situation where we can just rock up to the show, write a set list, and, you know, everything's basically fine. It felt really free. You know, everyone's playing the songs now as opposed to just clinging on to the parts, and there was definitely more movement in the set, and we tried a different order, and that was cool. And hopefully you'll see on the bit of footage that we had, it was 72 Telecaster all the way today, which for the first couple of songs was a bit unnerving, but man, that's a great guitar now. That is absolutely spot on. Really works great for this, and yeah, just a lot of fun. So that's Shrewsbury done. I think we're going to head back now. That's enough church for one day, and Birmingham tomorrow. Who are you being interviewed by? Second interview in the day.
I was being interviewed by Simon for the Slopian mixtape.
Okay.
He originally knows my music from working at BBC Shropshire.
Nice.
And I was playing a few of my tracks back in the day, before the merge of
yeah.
the BBC introducing stations.
That's cool.
So that's how we.
He seemed like a nice fella.
Yeah, and then, you know, so just a quick interview for that.
He's got a podcast.
Got a podcast.
What's it called?
The Slopian mixtape.
Salopian mixtape. Salopian, Salops. That's Daniel nodding. That's what they Shrewsbury people call themselves, is it? Salops.
I think that was it. It might be the original name of Shrewsbury.
Salop Town.
I think that's what
Salopian.
it used to be called Salop.
Ah.
I think. Historically.
That's the
But
second.
don't quote me on that.
Where
I'm
you've just
pretty
been
sure.
quoted.
I know.
That's the second bit of history on this vlog today. Shrewsbury is vlogtastic. There's one for Lucy. The Kew Wildlife Rescue. I'll tell you a story about the Kew Wildlife Rescue. Basically, we rescued a little. Lucy will put whatever the bird is. It was a swift, that was it. Lucy rescued a swift. It was a hatchling or something, and I believe drove it from where we live, which is not far away, but it's not on the doorstep, to that wildlife rescue. And I was like, oh man, is it really worth doing that? Anyway, it was worth doing that. Apparently, it made a full recovery. And, you know, that swift, thanks to Lucy Pinfield, is now flying around somewhere in the world, hopefully. Wow. Here we go. Look at this, people. So, English market town, eat your heart out. Is that the same church or a different church? That's a different church, isn't it?
That's where we've just been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love the church. And there you go, a timber frame house over there. We're mooching. Ladies and gentlemen, a very lovely man. CJ, right here. Thank you. So CJ used to be in Bryony's band, now has his own band called Triers, Triers. Go check him out. And just like that, we are back in the car on the way home. A very good show all round. Lots of fun stuff there today to unpack, and I think more to think about in due course. It's one of them that has left me with. We got sweets. Are you driving and handling sweets?
Sure.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
We've got Frutella.
Right, we'll come. Frutella. We'll come back to this after I've rammed a Frutella down my mouth. There you go. Oh yeah. disgusting. That's better. Anyway, it's one of those gigs that made me think. Actually, I do really like having an amp on stage. It was a very reverberant venue, as you saw. Sorry about chewing the fruitella. Maybe I should just abandon this bit. It's part of the challenge. So what it is, I'm looking at it like if I didn't have the amp today in a room like that, there was, even though I asked him, maybe you could see on the footage, I asked the dude for more guitar in my monitor. It never showed up. I couldn't perceive that there was any difference before I asked to after I asked. I don't know how your monitors were today.
Yeah, same issue with the guitar really.
Okay.
And midway I was like, for my guitar, can that go up? And he did put it up, I did hear it.
Yeah.
But once I played a note,
Yeah.
it then still went murky, muddy.
Yeah.
Went into the mix, and I was just still like.
So that's what I'm. Go on. Sorry.
I could hear my vocals.
Oh, that's cool.
Quite well,
That's the main thing.
which is actually unusual. So that was nice.
Great. That I guess is the point. All right. If you're relying on that front of house, that kind of situation today, you're kind of screwed, I think. You know, I filmed some of the changeover. We were loaded onto stage and playing within a quarter of an hour. There was a quick line check. You know the drill. If you've played at a festival, you know how it goes. Most people are getting a line check. You know, you're not really thinking too much about your monitors in your line check. You can ask for stuff. If it turns up, great. If it doesn't end up being any better in the monitors, then you're on a hide into nothing. You can keep asking, but you know, eventually it just looks like a bit of a prima donna. Point being, if you've got an amp on stage, or I suppose, you know, an FR cab of some description, you have always, as a guitarist, got that fail-safe, that backup. Like today, I lost, you know, when I couldn't hear my guitar anymore, the bits where I really needed to hear it, I just took a step back to the amp, which is what you do, isn't it? I'm not having a pop at the sound guy. He was a really nice guy, and by all accounts, it sounded pretty damn good out front. But that's just the nature of the beast. Festival show shows you exactly why, in our situation, at least in my situation, it's still useful to have an amp on stage or something making noise, making your noise on stage. We're driving home. Well, good morning, folks. Didn't film anything when I got back home last night, but really good gig, as you have hopefully seen. And today is another one.